Alright, a quick video on Cain and Abel, and I'm going to give you a little bit of a different perspective on this to the one that you probably would find if you listen to a preacher online or something talking about it. Okay, I've been wanting to do this for a while, this video, so hopefully it'll be alright. Anyway, sons of Adam and Eve, Cain and Abel. Right, so the basis of the story is, it's not. I'm not going to go into it, but if you listen to a preacher, he will say something like, Abel was a shepherd, and Cain was a farmer. Okay, and they made their offerings to God, and Abel offered the best of the best. He kept the best of his flock, or whatever whatever offspring he had from his flock, and he saved the best for his offering to God. Okay, whereas Cain, he just made an offering. It didn't really matter. He just made an offering. He just whatever, and that's how the story goes. Anyway, so God was not impressed with Cain's offering. Okay, and Cain did not find favour with God, but Abel did. Okay, Abel impressed God with his offering, and so sorry, this is a bit long-winded. Basically, what ends up happening is that Cain is then jealous of Abel's relationship with God and ends up murdering him. Okay, God's not happy about this and basically sends Cain off, and Cain walks the earth, just like in the Kung Fu. So, where am I going to go with this story from here? Alright. What the preacher will tell you is it's a story about giving your best back to God, and if you don't do that, that's basically the story. Well, the reason why I bring up Cain and Abel is, number one, obviously, the name Cain. If you follow anything that's going on, if you follow anything about law, if you follow anything in the media, if you follow anything, you'll see the name Cain pop up all over the place. Alright? And references to Cain are just endless, basically. Endless. And really what it is it's that whole idea is the corruption of the fictional side of reality. Okay, if we look at what Cain is, he's a farmer. Okay, straight away we've got a difference in how Cain and Abel are living their lives. The preachers won't tell you this. The preacher they'll tell you it's to do with the offering. Okay, but straight away you've got a difference in the way those two are living their lives. The way they're actually going about making a living, or surviving, or whatever you want to, just the way they subsist. Okay, what Abel is doing is he's following a more natural process. Okay, if you are a herdsman back in days of old, the way you would operate is there'd be a vast area, okay, and you'd take your herd out, your flock, and basically you'd just move them around all the time. That's what you would do. You just follow your flock around. There's still people that do it in the US today. I know, because I've watched videos on sheep farmers in Iowa and Wyoming and all over the place. When they get out on those great big hills, what they do is they just follow those sheep round, basically. They might guide them in a certain direction, but they're basically just sitting back and just making sure no harm comes to the sheep, and essentially doing what would happen in nature. Okay, they're just keeping them moving to fresh pasture, and instead of a pack of wolves doing that, or whatever else, whatever other predator there would be doing that in nature, there's a man doing it probably with a dog and a shepherd's crook. Okay, and that's what he does. Okay, so Abel is following a more natural path. Okay, now let's jump to Cain. Cain is a farmer. Okay, what he's doing is almost the complete opposite of what Abel's doing. He is going in to a certain area of land, and what farmers do, and I know because I'm a farmer, as well as being a shepherd as well, I'm also a farmer, and I know what we do. Okay, we go in, we till a piece of soil, and then you plant something. Okay, not only does tilling that piece of soil destroy a whole bunch of life within the soil, okay, it also you end up putting a monoculture into that area. Okay, there's no diversity left there anymore. Okay, so everything that we do in modern farming is pretty destructive to nature. Okay, this is the comparison I'm pulling from that story, is that one man is operating in a natural sense, and this is what God wants us to do because God is nature, and the other man is operating in a more fictional guise. What he's doing is he's taking more man-made ideas, more fiction, and applying it to a situation in order to control it more, in order to try to control it more, at least try to generate an outcome, okay, that is quite far from nature. There's very few places that you will go in nature and find a monocrop of something without finding a whole bunch of other intermingled species, or even diversity through other animals and stuff. I mean, even if you went into nature and you went to the prairie and you said, well, that's just all grass there. Well, it's not just all one species of grass. You're dealing with hundreds of species within very small areas. So what am I trying to get at? Okay, the whole idea of Cain and Abel, the Abel man, the man that follows nature, he's the able-bodied man. Okay, he's the man that gives back. Okay, he gives back the best back to nature. Okay, he's the man that leaves, instead of just taking everything like we do in farming, he's the man that leaves the best for nature. And an example of this springs to mind is deer hunting. Around where I am in Kansas, deer hunting's a big deal. Okay. Now, what most of these deer hunters do is they go ahead and they are looking for the deer with the biggest set of horns, the biggest rack. Okay, the biggest deer they can possibly shoot is the one they want to shoot. Okay, which is the complete opposite of how nature works. Nature saves the very best and takes out the junk. Okay. Now, what Abel is doing is he's taking out the junk and leaving the very best for nature. Okay. He's operating in a natural way. He's operating his livelihood in a natural way. Okay. This is what God wants. This is why he finds favor with God. Okay, so he's the able man. Now, Cain is the guy that's dependent on the cane. I don't want to, he's dependent on a support structure. That support structure is what he needs in order to survive. Okay? The support structure is the ideas, the fictional ideas that he has. You know, the different inventions, the different tools, the millions of different tools that you've got to have, and you know, following certain schedules and all the rest of it, you know, to get the right outcome. He is the man that's dependent on the Cain. He's dependent on, he needs to be supported, okay, by the fictional idea. But the fictional idea, it doesn't like really to support people. It likes to give the illusion of supporting somebody, but it does it in a different way. It ends up becoming the control. So once you buy into that idea, now you are addicted to the Cain. You need the Cain. Cocaine springs to mind when I'm saying you need the Cain, the sugar cane. Everything you're addicted to is some form of a Cain, you know. He's operating against nature, basically. He's operating a system that is man-made. Farming is a man-made idea. It's a system that is the opposite of nature. Okay, and this is why he doesn't find favor with God. Okay, this is why he's, you know, cast out to walk the earth. I don't want more to say about it, but that is the view I take of that story. Okay, it's right at the start of the Bible. It couldn't be clearer. And you know, rather than being a direct offering to a god, you know, God is nature. Okay, and what you need to do is you need to give back the very best that you can to nature. And how do you do that? By just being your natural self. Okay, not entering into a million fictional ideas. I'm not saying that we can't have fictional ideas, but once you get into that point where you become dependent on the fictional idea, you know, that you're addicted to the Cain, now you're worshipping that, and now you've lost favor. Okay. Yeah, that's it. That's the video. I thought I'd do one on it. It's just a different way of looking at the same story, but you know, I could go. There's a list as long as your arm, where Cain or Can or a variation of that name. That it's just everywhere. It's just absolutely everywhere. And you know why it's everywhere? Because the fictional system is everywhere. Okay? I mean, if I start rattling off, I just, I just wouldn't be able to stop. I'll let you put in the comments below. You can mention all the different Cains there are out there, all the different forms of Cain, and have a discussion about it. But just a different way of looking at the whole thing. That's it. Thanks for watching. Hope that was interesting. Cheers. Bye.